know if you are here, where you're from, where you're watching at. Hey guys. If you are watching, let me know where you're watching from. And I'd love to hear if you guys can at all, if you are into that at all. I'm kind of at a weird spot in my kitchen where it's like a corner, and hopefully the lighting will be okay. I had to set it up a little different just to try and help you see what I'm doing. Got the canning stuff down here. And it's going to be a little different today with making scones with the canning. I'm not sure if I should have done that or not, because it was probably a silly idea to choose to do scones. Let me check here. I want to make sure that this is... Okay. So I am going to start with the scones. I have turned on the barbecue, and I want to make sure. I'm trying to figure out the chat because I haven't always been able to see people when they're chatting. So if you are here, can you put something in the box and I will see if this is working okay? Okay, I got something. Mary Ann, blessings. Thank you. Okay, this is probably the first time that I have seen the chat working, so this is great. All right, so I'm going to start by getting out my scones. I made them this morning, and I've had them in the refrigerator for several hours. I usually, when I make the scones, I like to put them in overnight because then they get chilled and I can just take them out in the morning and make them. But this worked out this time. So if you did not hear, I am doing this on the barbecue. So these are the scones. I'm going to go ahead and what I did was I heated the barbecue up to 425. This is an experiment. I'm not going to do them all on the barbecue because that would be a bad idea. I am just going to experiment with a few. So I heated up an iron pan, and I am going to put a few of these on, and then I like to sprinkle some of the more coarse ground sugar over the top. I have turbinado. So let's try about 4 of them on here. And behind me, I have that one. Okay. So I just have, a few scones. I'm going to go put these on after I get the sugar on top of them. I've got the jam all warm, and my water is warm to put the jam in. So I hope I have everything ready. My brain has been working like crazy today to try and figure everything out, making sure it's one thing when you do a video and you can kind of edit things and you can stop and think about what needs to happen next. But I get worried about having to stop and like having forgotten something and have to go run and get it. So I am going to run out and put these on the barbecue. Now, when you do it in the oven, it's 20 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. I am going to try, it's about 425 degrees in the grill right now. The problem is you can't always depend on a grill to be the perfect temperature. This trying to bake in the grill has really encouraged me to use the grill this summer. I think this is like the first summer I've actually been the one doing some of the grilling. So I'm going to go put this on there. And another thing you have to worry about is because in the oven, if you open the oven slightly to see how things are doing, well, first of all, you have a light you can look at in the oven. But on the grill, if you open it up, you're opening it up 3/4 of the way around. It's not like you can just open it a little bit to see what's inside. So I'm going to leave it closed completely for about 18 minutes before I go and check on these. I will be right back. Okay. So the temperature actually went down a little bit. So I turned it up just slightly. We'll see how it does though. I am going to do this for 18 minutes and then we'll see how it is. I'll put these ones back in the fridge until I'm ready to use them. So today I'm doing a blueberry recipe. It is the blueberry preserves recipe that I have on my blog. I have it printed off here. That looks familiar. I am not doing preserves though. The difference between preserves and jam would simply be that preserves, you're not blending up all of the fruit to make a smooth texture. You're just putting, it's just basically preserving the fruit. And most people, I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people like it with that smooth texture. I like it with the smooth texture. I did a preserve recipe though. I think this is more beginner friendly. And so if you're really trying to just start canning, doing a preserves recipe takes off that step of having to blend up your berries. It takes off some of the time, and that's helpful. Also, especially with the strawberries. So I'll try and show you a little bit here, but the blueberries are very thick. That one thickened up very easily. The strawberries, though, it's a lot longer trying to thicken strawberry jam, which is sad because I love it and I just want it to go faster. But if you were to not blend up the strawberries, just doing strawberry preserves, it would go so much faster. But when you blend it up, it makes it take even longer. My strawberry jam that I'm doing here is from Melissa K. Norris's book, Everything Worth Preserving. She has so many great canning recipes, but it's a no pectin strawberry jam. So just very basic ingredients. I did add a tad bit of salt to it because I do like the idea that it's low sugar, but I don't know why so many recipes don't have just a little bit of salt in it to bring out the flavor, because that doesn't do anything to the canning that I've researched, and absolutely safe. And so if you're trying to do lower sugar, I like the idea of having just a tad bit of salt in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else I was going to say about that. I guess the only thing I was thinking was that, I'm going to wash my hands real fast. Another way to just start out with preserving is to make the freezer jam instead of actually doing the canning process, which a lot of people do that already. It's basically just doing the canning recipe and then putting it into some kind of a freezer safe container. Or a lot of recipes are very small recipes and you could use them up pretty easily. When I make jam, I tend to have to do the recipe doubled. Usually it's hard to get away with a jam recipe, like tripling it, because the textures of the berries and moisture and everything, it just doesn't, the recipe doesn't get exact once you start doubling it that many times. And so what I've heard is only double it once. Try not to double it more than once and make it such a big recipe, because you want to make sure all of the ingredients are precise so that the result will be good. So I have got in my wash jars. I am not sure how many this is going to make. I am guessing in between like 6 and 9. We will see. And then the other things I have here, I'm going to just tip this down so you guys can see. I've got a bunch of towels, a couple of rags. This is all on a towel here. These I have washed, my canning lids and rings. This is a measuring device to just make sure that I am measuring correctly with how full I'm filling it. I've got my knife to make sure that there are no air bubbles. And then I've got my, oh my goodness, what is the word? Funnel. I've got my funnel. So I'm going to make sure that this is staying warm. And so I've turned it on. I think at this point I'm going to turn it off and I will bring it down here. This water in my pot is warm. I filled up the pot a few inches. And so this pot is actually like a pressure canner. But the cool thing about canning is that you don't need to have a special pot for it. You can just use like a huge stock pot. We will start with our strawberry. Have my ladle and the blueberry. I'm going to turn this down again. Oh, it smells so good. So these jars just came out of the dishwasher. And I'm going to fill this up to a 1/4 inch headspace. So it means it's a 1/4 inch from the very top. And that's what I'll use my ruler for. So once I get near the top, I kind of start checking a little bit more. Looks like a tad bit. Oh man, for those who can constantly and can so many things, you know, it's like trying to go to a certain inch headspace, or maybe you're not doing inches if you're not in the United States, but it just becomes like second nature, and they barely have to measure. I mean, I know that it's kind of the same with me when I'm doing a ton of green beans at the end of summer. I get so used to how high it's supposed to be. So I'm using these superb canning lids, and these I got from Cooey Housewares. I went ahead and put a link down below for 10% off. These are made, they originally were made by Amish Made. And during 2020, when there was a huge need for canning lids, these guys got together and decided we need to make a better canning lid, you know, if we're going to make a canning lid. And so they actually put like an extra rim of the rubber stuff that helps to seal it and lock it to the top rim of glass. Oops, I got something on there. Okay. So you want to have it finger tight, so you're not making it super tight. Otherwise, that can cause it so like anything trying to get out when it gets really hot can't, and it'll burst. But you do want it to be tight enough that you're not losing your jam. It's kind of one of those things you have to learn. And then I'm going to put it in here. Not sure how many I can fit in here. We will see. The cool thing about doing jams and things like this is that, you know, you don't need a lot of extra tools. Like even the ruler, you could totally use a ruler at your house. Most people have some kind of a funnel, and most people have a stock pot. So it's not like you need a lot of fancy equipment. The difference between pressure cooking and just normal canning, water bath canning, is that pressure cooking is for those items that are not as acidic. So items that are below, I want to say it's 4.6. Yeah, 4.6 or lower in pH. Those are things that you can with a water bath can, or with a water bath canning. And that's because botulism, which is what you're worrying about when you're canning generally, it can't grow at those lower pHs. And so like there's not as much of a worry when you're doing strawberry jam, when you're doing berries, when you're doing apples that you can add lemon juice or pickles, that sort of thing. Let me know also in the comment box if you guys have any special things that you are canning this year. I usually do, I'm gonna grab another jar. I usually do a bunch of green beans. I don't know if that's happening this year. I have a specific salsa recipe that I love doing. And let me think if there's anything else. I do some jams. Oh, I do the pie filling. I should put that down below too. The apple pie filling without using the thickener in it. And the clear gel. So I do it without clear gel, and then I just add a little bit of a thickening agent in the pie when we make pie. And that has worked so good. The family has loved it. It's become just a wonderful, easy dessert in the winter when it's all made. And I've used, it's just nice that you can control like the sugars you're using and all of that sort of thing. Okay. So I have had great, I want to see if there's any more chats here. I've had great, so far, I've had a good experience with these superb canning lids. And so we'll see how today goes. My husband's trying to sneak in to go to the bathroom. Okay, we've got 3 so far. We've got 7 minutes until the timer goes off. I think that I can get 1 or 2 more of these strawberries. I actually don't want to can all of them though. I would like to save some for just having in the refrigerator for desserts. Yeah, I think this is gonna, we might fill up 1 more. We'll see here. And if you haven't yet, let me know where you guys are watching from. Oh boy, this one needs to be cleaned. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I might be missing some. Let's see if I, nope, there we go. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, clean off this one. Got a little jam on that one. So, okay, so I was saying I do this salsa and I do some, I guess I've done applesauce too. I do the apple pie filling. I have tried doing beets and some of them turned out good. And then I do what I like to do and experiment. And it did not turn out good. I tried with a different vinegar. I thought it was the worst thing ever. I think I tried it with apple cider vinegar instead of just, the normal white vinegar that people use. It was awful. Don't try that. I mean, it's so much healthier, I'm sure, but it was awful, so bad. Okay. I've got 4 here. What I did with her recipe was I think I did not double it, if I'm remembering correctly, but I did 1.5 times it. More jars. All right, this is going to be the last strawberry, and then I will go on to the blueberry. Hopefully we'll have this all in there and running by the time I'm getting the scones out. See how they turned out. I have done applesauce before. I've done applesauce. It kind of depends on the year with how many apples we're getting. We eat so many apples in the fall time. Okay. Go a little bit more. I have just a tad bit of jam left, so I'm just going to leave the rest in the pan and we'll use it on something. That's the best part, right? All right, and here's let me start using another one here. I learned pretty fast when I started canning that I need a lot of towels because they start getting dirty and then I want to just go on to the next one. And at first I was running back and forth, and now I just take out a whole bunch to begin with so that it's all set. Of course, I have to wash my hands a lot too since So with the scones, I have not tried the whole barbecue thing before. So this will be the first time. Okay, there we go. Hit the last strawberry. I did not say, I also have a rack in the bottom. I don't think I mentioned that. For those of you who are new to canning, you do want to have some kind of a rack in the bottom. Kind of like you would get with an Instant Pot. So I have one here it was like a beginner set. Oh, that's our minute left for the scones. This is one from a beginner set, or you get a rack with your Instant Pot. And so if it's big enough, I mean, that one could work as well. Okay, here's our blueberry. And the nice thing about these is that both the blueberry jam and the strawberry jam have the same processing time. You know what? I just realized I forgot to run the knife through. I'm thinking about so many things with those. Hopefully that'll be okay. Goodness. Like, do I want to bring them out now? I guess we'll see how they do. I don't know. They're so hot now. Thankfully, the strawberry jam is a little bit thinner, so it's not going to keep the air in as much, but glad I remembered before I got to the blueberry jam. This one definitely could keep air in. Okay, so my timer just went off. I'm going to put this one up and then run out and see how the scones are doing. I am hoping soon to get a video out on doing a little bit of outdoor bread baking, some creative bread baking. And yes, I like the idea of being able to bake things outside in the summertime. Like, it's been a dream to be able to have an outdoor kitchen area. I want to see, I don't know why. I'm trying to check the chat. It's been a dream to have an outdoor, kitchen area and have people be able to eat outside. I think the closest I've gotten this year is I've done barbecue breakfast, and we've had that outside. Of course, once it gets warmer and you get wasps out, it's just not as fun. So I do think maybe it's more like an early summer, late summer thing here. Okay, first blueberry. Same thing, a 1/4 inch headspace. And I'm going to run out and see how those are. I'll be right back. Oh, they are looking amazing. They're actually looking good. The difference, I would say, I'm going to get another jar started. The difference is that with the grill, you don't have the burner overhead, and so it's not going to have the crispier top like it would if you were in an actual oven. That's the only thing. But other than that, and we'll see. I mean, it's possible that the bottoms got burnt on the scones. It's possible, but we'll see. They were looking beautiful though. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes and then go back out. It gets messy down here. This is why I have a towel down. Of course, I like working on the wood too. Did you guys know that wood is antimicrobial? I exchanged all my plastic cutting boards and everything for wood a few years back when I started learning like all the benefits of wood. I actually have a video on that. Maybe I should post that on here too. But wood, so if you're using like a wooden cutting board, it has antimicrobial benefits. And so I think that was one of my biggest fears when I thought about using wooden cutting boards before, was that you're going to end up having like meat broth that gets stuck on there or something. But no, it is actually very, very much a better idea than plastic. And that came out with some of the studies they did around COVID time, because they were trying to figure out what everything was doing, what could prevent it. And oh shoot, I said that word, huh? I hope they don't do anything against me. Anyways, so that was one of the things that came out. And I mean, I guess if you think about it, it does make sense that wood would be more antimicrobial. Okay, finger tight here. I think, okay, I only have one of these ready left. Then I will go get the scones. So that'll be 3. Ah, that was too much. I am hoping this summer to be able to do, okay, let's make sure that I'm hoping to be able to figure out a good blackberry pie filling recipe this summer. That is my new goal. And again, I don't want to do clear gel, but one of the things that I learned about blackberry pie filling, which I did not know, some of you might know this, but it actually, with blackberries, you have to blanch them before you do that. You have to blanch them before you're actually cooking them. And that is because blackberries happen to have like this certain amount of air. And so if you don't blanch them, the air will come out while you are trying to process is the word, but while you're trying to cook them in the jar. Okay. So this will be our last blueberry. See if I can bring you over and you can take a look, and here they are. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in here. I'm going to turn the heat up. We're going to raise the heat. I'm going to put a lid on, and where's my lid? I'm going to go get the scones out. Oh, the horrible thing about this stove is that I have like these cracks. Do you guys have cracks on the corners where water just, once things steam and they overflow with water, it goes down to the cracks? We have not figured out how to fix that. Okay, I'm going to go get the scones. I will be right back. Oh boy. Okay. All right, let's see if I can show these to you. This one is definitely, this is hot. I'm gonna have to do it a different way here. I'll tip it down a little bit. So this one on this side, I don't know if you can see that, but it is darker on top than the others. I have a little bit of black on the bottom. And so honestly, this one's, it's dark. So yeah, maybe a little bit of black. So maybe just turning them down a little bit and cooking them longer would work. But that's pretty cool that you can do that, because it's always nice to know how to actually cook things outside in the summertime. I'm going to get these out on a cooling rack. Honestly, these look very good. I'm not going to worry too much about that darkness on the bottom. Like some of it actually looks like sugar because it's that glaze. So it's almost like the sugar got burnt on the bottom of them, like along the edge here. And so I think there was, extra sugar down there and it just kind of burnt on the bottoms. But yeah, I wonder if just taking it down to closer to about 400 and then cooking it for closer to 25 minutes out there. I was concerned because you don't have that overhead heating that the tops would be a little bit softer, but honestly, the tops look pretty good too. Pretty close to oil oven, besides having a little bit extra crackle on the bottom, which I don't know, like I would totally eat a scone like that still. So with these jars, I'm going to heat it up until they're boiling, and then I am going to process them for 10 minutes. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the last of my blueberry jam. I still had a little bit more blueberry jam. I don't know if you saw that. I had doubled the blueberry preserves recipe, and I did blend up the blueberries, so it is considered jam and not preserves. But I'm going to put the rest of this into another jar, and that way I can put that in the fridge. Let's see if I'm going to look back at the chat here. Hey, Kim from Arizona. And I am going to have my iced tea. I don't know if you guys have tea in the afternoon. I have tea like all day long. So this is one of the strawberry, I have it here, the Farmhouse Teas. Cian over at Farmhouse Teas, she lives like a couple towns from me. And this is her green tea. And so not only is this like a really well-made tea, but it's local for us. This one has organic strawberry leaf, organic rose hips, organic hibiscus, organic licorice root, organic strawberries, and then organic lemon peel and the rose petals. And I went ahead and I just put in some strawberry with it. But I love her teas. I'll link her at the bottom too. And I'm going to go ahead and have one of these. Once this boils, I'll process them for 10 minutes. And I will go ahead and see if I can put like a picture. Because you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to say, is there any questions before I go? I've been on here for about 30 minutes. I don't want to hang out too long. But if you have any questions, put them in the box. Ooh, this is nice and toasty warm. Otherwise, I am going to leave you guys, and I will try and post a picture on this specific information box or whatever, however you do the posting, and on the social media as well. So I will check this again. That's good. That is good. Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.